Hi, I'm Carrie Dawson, and I did my differentiation lesson in a pre-K at-risk DD classroom. It was kind of tricky. It was my fourth day working with those kids. I was still getting to know the kids and all of their little tricks in the classroom and everything, but I think overall the kids adapted pretty well to me, and I was kind of nervous at first. We were leading a brand new lesson talking about houses and families. I brought out a dollhouse, and my goal was to have the kids talk about the rooms, and then I had the toys to go in the rooms, like the doll beds and kitchens and all that good stuff. But I wanted to talk about it first before we played with it. The first time I showed it to my small group, the kids were super excited and wanted to play right away before we had a chance to talk. It took me a few rotations for me to realize that I need to set my expectations before I open up the house, and then open up the house, and then bring the toys. So in the video, you will, it was kind of crazy, but after that, it was my second day today, and I figured out over my second day to just stay calm and state my expectations, then bring everything out. But my objectives was in a small group setting, the students will carry on a conversation through multiple exchanges, and I believe after the kids calmed down from all the excitement, they were able to carry on conversations. And I really tried with differentiation, and it was kind of hard to do it at first because I didn't quite know what to expect since I didn't really know the kids. But throughout the lesson, I was able to adapt my expectations of the kids once I got to know the kids and got to know the situation a little bit better. There were a few times I had to redirect or say things differently because the kids were just so excited to play in the dollhouse. After a while, we figured it out, and the kids calmed down, and I tried to introduce. We were reading a book that we hadn't quite read yet, Flora's Blanket, and I wanted to front load the kids on what a cellar is, because most of them don't hear the word cellar, and so I wanted to front load them and talk about a basement, maybe some things that they store in their basement. So I worked on that front loading for one of my adaptations for the ESOL kids. There is a very high population of ESOL students, so I wanted to make sure that they had that vocabulary down. We also were covering some other vocabulary of items that you see in a house, like a blanket and a lamp, kitchen. And so for part of my lesson plan, I tried to put that in there. The lesson that I used went right along with the school curriculum that was provided by the district. And prior to me getting to the school, the kids went over families and talked a lot about, and just the teacher introduced a house, but not really what goes on inside of the house. And this week, that is what we're talking about, is house and families and moms and sisters. And so our vocabulary words were living room, kitchen, sofa, and cellar. We had a couch or a sofa, and I was able to front load the kids on what a sofa was. That's a piece of furniture that people sit on, usually seen in a living room, but it can be different places, and it's okay if it's in different places. We call it a sofa, which is what the curriculum calls it, but I related it to a couch because that's what most people call it. In a living room, we talked about what goes on in a living room, and that some living rooms are different, and some living rooms there's a TV in there, and others there's a kitchen table, but other people's kitchen tables in their kitchen or in their dining room, and it's okay for everything to be different. So the kiddos did a really great job carrying on the conversation after I got comfortable with it. So I definitely think that next time I will make sure that I state my expectations right away before I get out the dollhouse and the doll toys. And another thing that was crazy about this was the kids were in a different location than they usually are. They're at the rug instead of the table.